What's up, babe?
I love you.
Love you too.
May I have a kissy? Have a good show.
That's right. I'm alone today.
Oh, is he okay?
He's having some serious personal issues with his wife.
Because he's working a million hours.
Yeah. He opened up his tablet, or their
Oh,
tablet,
she's talking to someone else.
on Discord, and she was talking to one of her friends or whatever. Yeah. And the thing that he read right away was that she didn't have the balls to leave him. Was the quote. And so.
Buddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one really hurts.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is the best idea that I have. Like, go through these things, and also like time management is gonna be important. But also, he was like, yeah, but if I'm working 100 hours that week, like, she doesn't like to cook, she doesn't like to clean, she's just angry because she's gotta, I guess, spend time with the kids while I'm working.
I mean, division of labor.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, I was like, okay, like,
definitely
go to the store,
we
buy a
had to
big
go
ass
through.
piece of paper, right on the thing, like, Lily or something, I don't know, like, but also, like, let her go first and let her talk, and then when she's done, don't talk. Just write the things up there calmly, and then talk about what you can each eliminate from your things, so you're not so stressed, and then add family time there, or whatever. Oh no! You lied. Oh my god. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sandbox live stream for Saturday, June 19th, 2020. My name is Joseph the Vision X Matting. I'm riding solo today with you, and so we're going to take you on a special adventure on this Saturday. First off, thanks for the notification on the audio queue. Typically everything's muted, but I forgot that I have an audio loop from my own microphone that goes through my desktop audio, so hopefully it was too quiet that all that little nonsense you don't have to worry about too much. And you can see on your screen that I am attempting to, and can't guarantee yet because I don't know what the developers do day to day. They may be working. It appears like it's working. You can see here on the screen that I will be taking us through a little walk through the Sandbox Social Hub today and doing the tutorial level. If you have not seen this before, this is the Metaverse. I'm going to give you a special sneak preview today, and then afterwards we will play just a little bit in the Game Maker where I can showcase some skills that you may already have, but you may not be considering. Ways where you can show off your assets that you create, maybe presentation wise, get them ready for some marketing, things like that, to help you give people an understanding of what your assets can do when you make a nice trailer for your Game Jam game, if you want to do so. Folks, no audio on YouTube. Oh, no, that's on you. Okay, cool, Greenview. Good to know. All right. So everybody's in, and we are good. Let me go through my lines, ladies and gentlemen. Each and every Saturday, right here on YouTube.com, Twitch.tv, Theta, D Live, Facebook, and we figured out what's wrong, but it may not be on. We're going to fix that now. This coming week, twitter.com/thesandboxgame. We play the games that you uploaded. Nope, that's not right. We teach you the skills you need to know about the Sandbox on Saturdays typically, but once again, I've already gone over what we're going to do here. If you're watching live with me today, you have the special opportunity where during the stream, you can feel free to ask me anything, whether that be from the Metaverse that you're seeing on your screen right now. It could be from the Game Maker tool. It could be from Vox Edit. Totally up to you. Ask me whatever you like. If I can't answer that question here live, then we will be able to answer it later. If you go under this video, head to our Discord, our Twitter, send me those messages there, maybe on Telegram. We can get that answer later for you. If you're watching later over on youtube.com, you may want to join me on Saturdays. We live stream at 1800 UTC each and every week. And for those watching live, you will be able to have the opportunity to win the Wizzy the Blue NFT. Somebody just asked me what my favorite avatar is, so I'll just show you what my avatar is right now. There are hundreds of different options at this point, with thousands and thousands of combinations for avatars, each with color customization options throughout. You can color override many different things, and the avatars continue to develop day in, day out. Additionally, avatars will have wearables that you could add if you want to have a nice cosmetic flair or a functional flair to your wearables down the road. You can absolutely do that when we get in the metaverse. Many of those things will be on offer as part of the seasons of content as well. So lots of things going on. B333H asks if I'm ready for Windows 11. Well, I believe it looks a lot like Windows OS X. But I also am of the mindset that if you don't continue with the new thing and continue to learn each and every day, that for me personally, that's a sign that I'm old and I've given up, right? That may be pretty harsh for some, but that's how I genuinely feel. I remember when the Windows 8 came out, and I don't know if you all remember Windows 8, but it was a mess. Windows 7 was the last time when it kind of looked like that Windows 95 to Windows XP style. Then Windows 8 shook everything up, did it all different. And everybody hated it. And I said to myself, I'm just going to adapt. Didn't take very long, and I was like, yeah, it's fine, right? Like, all the underlying things for Windows are still there. And the same is true with Windows 11. It's still got the registry editor and all that. But this is the Sandbox stream, so hopefully I gave you the best possible answer without having to deep dive too much into it. So, excuse me. Let's do a little running around. And, just for fun, I'm going to show you guys this little NFT collection space. This entire space, if you have seen it before, you may have seen it in a preview video that was launched over on Twitter earlier this week, I believe. Right here, first of all, if you have heard me talking about how I'm working with the live ops folks, that means that there may be an ambassador at any given time right here in this booth. And this ambassador would be here when you're in the metaverse, if they're inside your instance, to give you help anytime. When they type that, you'll see it here in the bottom left, in the section that says land, because they're inside your instance of your social hub that we are in right now, and you can see everybody typing in the land. At the same time, there is another chat that says Metaverse, where they may be giving support. If you say, help, I'm stuck, they can see that regardless of where they are in any game, anywhere in the Metaverse. Right? So, let's see. Well, hello, Purple Lioness. Good day, good afternoon. Let's see. Need about 16 hours more. Oh, Space Bamboo. It's good to hear. Change your life and your career. Yes. That's good. That's good. Are you, have you applied for the artist program? Something like that? Paco, thank you. We do have a pretty great team. Lots of great people all over the team, up and down. Hello, Holly. If you want to hang out, you will. Is the Metaverse expected to go live this year? Yes. You'll be able to jump around in this space right here. Should be this summer. We are expecting it to be open and ready, and I am actively training those ambassadors on the different fun events and tasks that we have for you coming up. But as I mentioned, this is the place for the ambassadors to be, so most of the time, if they're on your land, then they are in here, just hanging out, and these ambassadors are expected to do kind of like events and hang out with you, have fun, and about once every 15 minutes, they're going to be giving away 15 sand. Unless there's a big special event that day, and during that hour, I have made the plan to do the 15 sand every 30 minutes. But nonetheless, pretty frequently, you'll have a nice opportunity to be put on the sand distribution list, and then probably about once a month that sand will be distributed to the users. But that plan isn't fully fleshed out. Just want to give you a nice little piece of information here. I'm skipping over all the cool stuff. So you'll want to come over here and check out the NFT gallery. We also would like to have this NFT gallery change about once a week. So you'll be able to see nice featured content here in the gallery when you come each and every week hanging out with us. You can see a nice little dance stage here. And some of these emotes, I don't know if I have the latest client installed here, but we have a nice emotes update that we're doing on the back end, so you'll be able to hang out and dance with a bunch of your friends. And we apply as ambassadors. Yes, ambassadors are essentially chosen regularly in order to maintain an active group of ambassadors, and ambassadors have certain rewards that are given for their time and things like that. So you could absolutely apply to be an ambassador, and the decision is made by a small handful of the team, including myself. Is there a way to make a living on the Sandbox? I live in Asia, Thailand, and salary is low here. Neon Vibes, it's possible to do so, especially if you are living in a country that has a lower median annual wage. Some of our artists who have sold art so far have made an annual salary for most of the world in a weekend worth of sales. How that said, it takes longer to create those arts, those NFTs, and then as artists, they have gone through a long process to get there to be able to publish them. But when the Sandbox is live and open, the only thing that really is going to be in the way of you being able to have that success is you making sure that you tell the world about your product, that you've got people following you, that you make an interesting and creative piece of content, and then publish that. And again, just people have to know that it's there in order for you to get the sales, right? So you will have to do some marketing for yourself, some promotion for yourself in order to really get the most number of eyes on it to get the sales that you're looking for. And I'm saying that because at this time, when you see those drops that we have, those are more curated drops, right? The internal team is making those decisions among artists that have already been approved for our foundation fund, right? But when it opens up to have just anyone and everyone making content, you're going to want to make sure that you do something to make yourself stand out. So just keep those things in mind. Can your content be featured in the galleries? Yes, you can have your content featured in the galleries. In fact, that's kind of the point of this NFT gallery. So I'm going to step in here on the right, and you can see the idea. So these podiums, there are different versions of these podiums, and what goes into this space will be curated internally by the team. But if you make an asset in the Sandbox, a nice tooltip will be put up here for you based on your description. If you're a featured artist, and we will be choosing weekly a different featured artist, whether they be those people in the foundation fund or later when it's open to everyone, a standout user. Excuse me. So if you are a standout user and you are going to be featured on the website, you would at the same time be featured inside this gallery, where I can have a level designer take your asset, and let's say somebody is looking at it on the site, they're not sure if they want to buy. They may come into the metaverse. First thing when they drop in, they're dropping in this hub, and it's here. Regardless of how tall it is, you can see there's a bunch of headspace here in the gallery, so it'd be very easy to plop any asset in here as long as it's not, the Eiffel Tower. So we could feature that. And there's a little space up in this room, right? Like, there's another room over here. You can see that there's multiple places to do a showcase if you had multiple assets that we wanted to feature all at the same time. And then among those, there's also guest artist, and this is up in the air whether we're going to do this or not, but I would like to also feature guest artists from content that's not normally within the sandbox, not created in VoxEdit, but as you can see, everything on these walls, these are NFTs that are available on OpenSea right now. So if those NFTs, you would be next to other prominent artists in a global platform. So let's see here. If I can make 500 USD a month, I'm happy. Well, I mean, that doesn't seem unreasonable. Currently, the Neon Vibes, the Sandbox token is worth roughly 25 to 35 cents on any given day. So, you would need to make one sale of 1,500 sand in order to do that. Or, many sales of less. So, when we do get to a point where the marketplace is open to everyone, we will have layer 2 availability, which means that it will cost just pennies to list an item. And then, the transactions for users would be the same process, where it would just be pennies to process that transaction. So hopefully that helps for you. So, okay. Let's see. I see Holly in the chat. Sand is very under. You know what? Clanker says sand is very underpriced at the moment. Versus price history, it is a bit underpriced. But that said, as with anything, I think it is it's an open market. People can decide what fair value is, and I think that will change very rapidly as we get into, obviously you can see some of the content that is in this space. If you had a high-tech environment, you may want to purchase Flying Bot here, right? And this flying robot, fully animated, ready to go, could be useful to you in your game, but you're not an artist. You're going to need sand in order to be able to buy the Flying Bot. So you go onto the marketplace, find it, pick it up. Once that usability kicks up, because people can really see what the metaverse has to offer, I think that's going to change very quickly. Let's see. Current approximate turnaround time for approving new creator fund applicants. Well, it depends on which creator fund you're looking for. The artist fund and the game maker fund, which are different groups, expand at different times, but I believe that both of those funds are going to expand rapidly in July. And then beyond that, we will see where it goes. So if you're interested in applying to make a new game, create your pitch right now. If you're interested in being an artist, create your portfolio in VoxEdit now. And then get those applications in there. Just keep in mind that new artists are those people are assigned tasks so that people in the game maker fund can have the tools to use, right? So there have been days where our artists have been assigned make something that looks like it's Norse mythology. Now you come over here to the heroes section of the main social hub. You ask yourself, why did we need Norse mythology? Well, let's answer that question right away, right? You got beautiful assets like this one that were created by these artists with this snow-like animation that's going on around it. Now just the doorway here, something that seems relatively simple, but this doorway was created during that period. So that's what the artists do. They get assigned tasks and they say, create it based on this theme. Maybe it's pirates, maybe it's Norse mythology, maybe it's nature or druidic in theme, right? And then we'll come through, get it all done, piece it together in these different level design teams. People who are in the Game Makers Fund are given consultation pretty regularly about their product, have product testers in there playing around on it, breaking it, just the same way that I like to do here on our Wednesday streams with your games. So that is not me, but could be. You never know. I do get to play around in that all the time. Neon Vibes says, can I use Magical Voxel? You can use Magical Voxel, but I would recommend that you use Vox Edit at least to finish your product, because a lot of what Vox Edit does for you that is, I mean, if we just look at this penguin right here, each one of the spaces where it appears to like kind of crack is an individual asset like chunk that has been made, and you can watch us make these on Mondays with Panda Pops if you like. But I'm looking at the penguin and I see that there is the headpiece that has been made, the body piece that has been made, the feet / legs made separately, and then the fins or flippers there on the arms. And the arms themselves are even two different pieces. And then Vox Edit allows you to put them together and say, while the penguin is idling or just standing around, what does that animation look like? And so you can see that it kind of is moving its head, it's flapping the wings a little bit, body's turning while it's idle. It's got a full, minute or so worth of animation. And that, to me, personally, and I'm not the artist making the decision, but that to me is more important than if you can make something like a building, right? Because this is the thing that defines what the Sandbox is going to have. What defines some of the greatest arts that we have are defined by the animation more than the initial style. But again, that's just my opinion. Like this windmill that doesn't move at all is beautiful. So if you can create a windmill like this in Magic Voxel, then cool. But when you look at the roof on the windmill, Magic Voxel doesn't allow you to make that like kind of curvature style situation where the top is moving on itself. From my understanding, I could be wrong. I don't use Magic Voxel really very much, at least not nearly as much as some of our other artists do. Let's see here. Did you find the secrets? Oh, Sandbox, did you play a game from Touche? I don't see that chat going on. Love the Harvest Moon type farm system you got set up. Oh, okay. Be interested. Is that your Game Jam game there, Touche? Did you already have that up in the gallery? I've been spending... I got a fun fact for you guys while I'm running around the social hub here. I have been spending all week approving arts. You guys are submitting your arts, and I had requested that they all get finished by the 14th. Some of them have slowly trickled in later. Some people have sent me entire Excel spreadsheets, just like totally separate from the form, like all on their own. Hey, I've got hundreds myself. So I've been approving them and getting them done. But the fun fact is that I had so many arts to approve this week that I've actually still got about 100 left from, I think, just one user. So if you have art and it's not been done, please message, like, check your accounts. I think I got a DM this morning that said somebody, like, I missed 3 of them on their forums or something like that. So check your accounts, make sure that the pending section is not pending. If it is, send me the links to those so I can get those approved. Because I've been doing so many all week that the website itself thinks I'm attacking it. I've had to refresh, open so many new pages and approve so many different assets that the website itself has been telling me, you can't come here, you're dynamic, like you're distributing denial of service attacking me, or whatever that term is. DDoS attacking me. Please stop coming, Joe, to the site. So I am working on it, but like I said, there was so many to do that the site now, after approving about 30 or 40 assets in a row, the site hard locks on me and crashes, specifically because I'm sending too many requests, or have in the last week or so. So we've walked into the scientist section right here. User Touche in the chat, who is one of our ambassadors that will be seeing you inside the Sandbox social hub, got themselves on top of this helicopter-like billboard sign in a way that I cannot duplicate. So fun challenge for you guys the first time you get in the metaverse. If you get yourself stuck on this helicopter type sign, which you can't really get stuck, it's very easy to jump off. It's just so difficult to get on that you don't want to jump off if you get on it. Touche was very sneaky, made their way up to it. I won't tell you how, but it was a lot of fun. Trying to join you in there, but I think I need an update. Okay, Touche, update. I didn't download a new version of the client. You can see in the top right, it's still the 0.6 2021 update there. This may be an update when I'm looking at the version name that came out this week. I'll get you something soon. There is a different link for you so you can keep your demo client version updated without having to manually download one at a time. Let's see here. Any date on preseason 0? Not yet, Singapore Jack. Yesterday. So I think we've discussed this a little bit on this stream, how the preseason 0 content will be gated content. So a lot of users have asked in the past, if they made a game, how could they be certain that the users that are playing in their game, or how can they monetize their game, right? How could they be certain that those users have paid to play? And gating is one of those such options, meaning that if you sell someone an NFT and they try to access your game, the game will check when you load into it, do they have this NFT in their account? If they do, then great, they can come in, right? And this works kind of like any normal physical disc game sale, in that you need to have the ticket in a physical disc, that's the disc, in order to play your game. If you sell all your tickets, then the tickets become public. They can be traded among other players. The players can charge other players to be able to play your game in the third-party market, etc. So you'll get your initial NFT sales for your land, and then you have that game out there. So with that in mind, just yesterday I was looking to work with one of our other ambassadors, Crypto Diplo, and when I went to log in to this space, it was actively being tested as gated content. So they were saying, hey, if I only allow people with a ticket to go to this one space, does that work? And I can confirm that it does at this time. So we're just that one step closer to being ready for that preseason 0 content for you. And the time right now is a little bit open-ended. They say summer, but that's just because we want to make sure that not only does the content work as expected, but the gating works 100% of the time, every time. It takes you to the right place every time. And we will be rolling out the kind of awards for the tickets where there is a timed release for all the content. So you'll be able to go to one experience on one day, and then another experience opens the next day, etc., that sort of thing. But more details on that will come later. So most of the assets on the hub are not in the marketplace, right? No, most of them I think are. I think they are. Because just like when you create arts, going the other direction, the artists can't share amongst each other without the same system. So we have artists, and then we have level designers that are working in this. And the level designers have access to the art in the same way that you do. So you should be able to see most of these, unless they are associated with the space as a non-fungible token. But honestly, I am not the level designer. So I could ask that question of the level designer at any given time. But it is the weekend, so I assume that they get a nice day off today. So let's see. Purple Lioness, the application for the ambassador form is...
the formal application for the ambassador form is closed, but the informal application is always open. You can send me a direct message on Twitter or on Discord with an example of your social medias, how you interact with the community regularly. Obviously, I see some of those interactions here. Given that you are watching over on YouTube, you may have YouTube content that you produce for the Sandbox, and that can be one of the ways that an ambassador is by producing content like that, YouTube content, Twitch live streams, that sort of business. If you do, and you can show me that content, and we like that on top of your social media presences, on top of how you interact with people on the Discords or on the Telegrams, things like that are how you become an ambassador for the Sandbox. We've recently onboarded a nice gentleman named Josh, who was an ambassador, even though the ambassadors forum was closed, because they were so good at making great interactive content for a segment of the community that we as a team hadn't reached yet. With regards to the Bored Ape Yacht Club sale, Josh kind of just autonomously went out and they were like, hey, I want to make a map of all the apes who had just joined in the community, right? And they made this map that each one of those people who had created had interacted with and contributed to on social media. And so you were seeing that this person was able to autonomously guide that community to come together and have a great experience as a community. And that's what really makes you stand out. But you don't need all of the things that I mentioned for sure. But your ability to just, interact and do that sort of thing works. The same theme has gone on with most of you who are in this chat, on the regular. You're kind of all doing that here on on our streams, but the only real separation is, given that we do have so many people on the streams, we want to make sure we hit each different audience. So there are times where I'm like, for now, we have enough stream folks and we want to focus on more social media people, or we want to get more YouTube videos out there and less stream content, more produced content, that sort of thing. But ambassadors have an opportunity, like many of them right now, have the opportunity to play in the metaverse if they have signed up for that live ops program. So, fun fact, you guys, I don't know if you noticed this, but as I'm running around here in the middle, you see in the top right now where it says 1,0. So this is a live indicator of where I am inside the metaverse. As I run over here, you can see I crossed a literal line in this 2x2 space, which is also indicated in the top right. Now I'm at 0, on the map. So if you were looking at that large map on the website and you see the 0, space, you know exactly where I am in the metaverse. And so this kind of north indicator is accurate in that as I move up here, I'm now at 0, 1. I'm in that square of the metaverse. So you can see each one of these things is accurate to that point. And I'm going to show you one more thing. And then I'm going to run away. I'm going to go do the tutorial. But I'm going to show you how this works. Giant transport. And this has never been seen before on video. So you guys are getting a special sneak peek. From my understanding, I've never seen this. You can see on the screen here. Noam, your version is the game maker client. I am playing in the game playing client. So regardless of an update, you would not have access to the metaverse. I'm just showing this off on this live stream as a special presentation, completely unplanned and unauthorized. So you guys know this is just okay. Uh-oh. What have I done? Broke something. Okay, one sec. Oh, there's something wrong with my mouse. I apologize. Now what's going on here? It looks like it's a little offset. You can roughly see what it looked like just there as I rushed through that to try to not give away too many spoilers. The overlay metaverse map, when you zoom in on the map, not on the actual map page, but on the play page, that's what the map will look like in the metaverse. And I was able to choose this path directly from that map rather than go to the social hub first and come in. That said, if you were a mobile user when the mobile version of this game comes out, maybe you don't have the ability to alt tab, or you just have a single screen, or you don't know what alt tab is, that sort of thing, then you may be running around in the metaverse. By default, you will spawn inside of the main social hub where you can walk to get to where we are. And then that way is the Heroes Hub, which I will not spoil today. It's beautiful. There's so many great assets there. There are an amazing group of experiences that you can play, where going into the Heroes Hub is the only way to walk to those experiences. Of course, you can get to those experiences using the map that I just showed you before, but this is really cool, immersive, and fun when you're inside that Heroes Hub. And you get a very vague idea of what that's going to look like inside because of the level designer that created this path to Aldrak. As with each level, these are instanced levels. So if you have a larger amount of land and you're trying to think of what to do with that land, creating spaces like these where it can genuinely feel like you're going from one place to another place can be a way to help fill out that space if you don't have an experience in mind. Also, this may be inspiration for you to create a transitional level, right? Making sure that one game, as the experience ends and you hit the literal wall where it says you're about to go to this game, that the next game is there and your adventure continues. That may be an option for you. So this is just a nice inspiration. And you can see some of the beautiful assets that may have inspired the Glitch in the Metaverse theme that many of you are doing. I'm going to run back this way. And as I get to the edge of the world, I can press E. And my destination is the Sandbox Social Hub. I'll go back there. We'll do the tutorial. All right, let's see. Mike C. I'm telling Seb. It's fine. I know it's fine. I've seen Seb spoil so many things over the years. You know, like if you guys don't and you're watching and you don't already do this, make sure that you are watching those AMAs that Sebastian is in, as Mike mentioned his name, because that Sebastian will very often be talking to somebody and like just for a second he'll say something about a like whatever, maybe it was something that came up in a meeting earlier in the week, like we're gonna do this, and then I will have been watching these live streams that he's doing where they are live interviews and I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna do this? Like I there are times where I don't know what it is, and then I'm like, spoilers, now I'm telling everyone, that's it, it's on the internet, you know. So yes, where do you watch the AMAs? Good news is that often we do post them over on our Twitter, so you can see that they are happening. But because they happen with so many places all over the world, like right now, if you don't already know, it is currently the CADAF conference in France, where Sebastian is actually physically there with real humans, because we are starting to see those vaccinations go out all around the world, so we can start to have these in-person events again. We are the lead sponsor for this art showcase, CADAF. So if you don't know, there's probably some interviews there, some live somethings there to check out. And I believe it's broadcast online, so look for that. Maybe you'll see something there this weekend. I think that goes through the 21st. And there we go, Mike C, who I believe is the Mike C, who is managing our Twitter regularly, says they're shared regularly on Twitter or have the hashtag AMA channel on Discord. So you may be able to get Seb to spill the beans on the hashtag AMA channel on Discord when he is in there, I think, every Friday. If that is still ongoing, I'd have to double check. There it is. It is Mike C. Well, good afternoon to you, Mike. It must be like 10 p.m. for you right now. Something like that. I don't know if I get my time right all over the world. I try to keep track of where you folks are coming from. All right. So let's see if I can show you some secrets, folks. Some fun things that are happening inside this space. So I mentioned really early on in this stream that our ambassadors have a license to give you sand rewards. They will be able to host fun little events, little competitions regularly. Just something while you're inside the social hubs or you're inside the metaverse, and they say, hey, in 5 minutes, whoever finds me first, gives me a high five, you're going to win 15 sand. I'm hiding at the number 5 inside the Sandbox main social hub. Well, you can see that on your screen right now. This tiny little number 5 is here just as a fun little Easter eggy, secrety thing so that our ambassadors have ways of hiding from you and you can find them in a reasonable manner. That said, they could also do much more complex contests, like if Touche continues to be a parkour master and they are hiding on top of the helicopter, that may be a longer form contest where you just see like dozens of people trying desperately to jump up the helicopter to get on there. They could also potentially have a Twitter contest where they say, hey, regardless of which instance you're in the metaverse, hashtag I'm awesome or something, right? And they put it up on Twitter, hashtag TSB I'm awesome, and if you put it up, you would be eligible for that, right? So the ambassadors have the freedom to do this distribution regularly. And this is my favorite spot by the Oracle section of the main social hub. Because it just has this beautiful vista. Look at this. Look at all the things you can see from up here in this 2x2. Great arts. Seems peaceful. I really like this. Also, I really like this space because it's got a rubber duck. These rubber ducks, if you don't know, are little secrets. It's our internal secrets. It's our little special proper Easter eggs for you throughout different experiences, whether it be full-blown games or social hubs that you can hang out with your friends. There is very often, with different skins and themes and styles, these little rubber duckies. And they're hiding in those worlds, in those games. And I don't think that I've found them all, personally. I know some people who have found many of them, and still they don't think they've found them all. So if you find them, my favorite thing about the rubber ducks is almost certainly going to be when people make the posts on Twitter and I'm like, where are you? You know what I mean? Like, how do I find that duck? Because they're just cute. I love them. At first I was like, oh, that's silly. But then I really, look at this guy. This little rubber duck is wearing a jacket. And it looks like it's got flour on its bum. Just cute. It's just cute little, definitely in theme with the Oracle's environment that I'm standing in. Great. Okay, let's see here. Getting late, yes. Yeah. Okay, social hub is going to be epic. 2x2 is such a great size piece of land to build a game on. I agree with that. It's nice. It's open. Especially like what you're seeing here, folks, if you're not familiar with the game design process, is that there's not that much vertical space used in this, right? There are some very large set pieces, or fairly large, but there's a lot more up and down space in this 2x2 than you're seeing used here. So if you are making a game, you can hide things all over the place, up, down, left, right, I shared a screenshot the other day. Oh. Hey, the barrel rolls back. Maybe it's always been there. I just never really use it. Shared a screenshot of myself up here with that eagle, the other day, where it was like, hey, flying high, and you can see that's pretty tall up there. But you could create some amazing puzzles just on like vertical scaling, right? And I'm always trying to find new ways to hide, new places to sneak onto here in these social hubs, just to get that nice epic screenshot wherever I am. Let's see here. Let's go in the tutorial. I did mention that I was going to go to the tutorial. It's already been 49 minutes, which is crazy because you guys have only seen, we haven't even gone into the nooks and crannies of just this one social hub. And there's so much more in the metaverse. Like, if you think that what you're seeing here is nice size or it's a large space, when you get into the Oracle's hub, the Heroes hub, the Scientist hub, and then realize how many levels and games are inside that, you start to really get an understanding of the scale of the sandbox, how many hours of content that there are going to be, how many days of content there are going to be. And we haven't even got to a point where you guys, the users, can publish that content. Once your content is available, you could basically spend your entire life inside the sandbox and have a good time doing it, as far as I can tell. It's great. So, the Steward. Welcome to the realm of the Metaverse Guardians, Wanderer. Should you wish to return to the Sandbox hub, use the portal behind you, or press the H key at any time. You can see that in the bottom right. You press Q. Now, this is a new feature, I think. I don't recall this being available to turn this UI off and on. Q. Quest goes away. Want to see it. I. Inventory. We know that. Okay, we got N for NFTs. You can see which of these assets are non-fungible tokens as it stands, meaning that you wouldn't be able to see these and add them on your game without having owned as an NFT. I can press H. I don't want to, and you can see that menu pops up that gives you a chance to cancel if you accidentally press H. Or you can press O for options. Map dashboard is the way to open your browser and select a new experience. If you were in, let's say right now, you can see this Sandbox tutorial. Bring this to console. Cam, we do intend to bring this to console. Here's the plan. We release on PC. We get this thing full of features. Once it's done, I'm going to guess version 1.0. There will still be updates after that on PC, but when it gets to 1.0, we'll start to work on mobile phone, tablet, that sort of thing. Get it on iOS, get it on Android. Then we can have it on consoles. Again, this is speculation a little bit on my part, but from my understanding, it's easier to publish on the Microsoft Game Store than it is to publish on the PlayStation Store. It is also easier to develop because the Xbox platform is basically Windows, but with a skin on it, and making it compatible with a controller. So I think that it would come to that platform first. It may or may not come to the Switch. If Nintendo does announce a Switch Pro, then I could say reasonably it will probably come to the Switch. I know that Nintendo does a great job of supporting indie games, so I could be dead wrong about that, and it comes to Switch first. Like, we'll have to kind of reach that when we get there. Can you please unshow the chat? It's hiding the game. I apologize. Let's see if I can make it a little thinner or something. I'm gonna pull it in and put it over my head. In this area, this is where all the quest pop-ups are going to be anyway. So I don't want to. Maybe I'll move it down here. See if that's better. It's smaller. Will you be able to trade NFTs in game? That is an intention, but not like you would make a trade in an MMO. If you are a level designer and you want the reward for completing your game to be you win an NFT, then that is kind of what we're working. Excuse me. What we're working toward right now. But before I continue, give me just a second, folks. I want to make a new form for that Wizzy the Blue NFT. Because it is about the whole hour already, and I don't want to forget it. Flying solo, it does take a little bit longer to get these things done. Heck yeah. All right, we're going to open up the responses for that, and then I can copy that. And if it doesn't go out, remember that for those people who are applying to win the Wizzy the Blue NFT asset, you can only win this asset once. That means that if you put your name in this form right now, of the 200 Wizzy the Blues that will ever exist, there's about 100 left. If you win one, I keep your Ether in a sheet separately in a secured space, just so that I know that I'm only ever giving one out to each individual user to use inside the sandbox in any way that you like. You can use it as an enemy, as an ally. You can use it as a set piece. You can showcase it in a gallery, or if you like, you can trade it on a third-party site or hold on to it until you can trade it on the marketplace at sandbox.game. This is each and every... I just realized my camera's been cutting my head off for like half the stream. Apologize. So each and every week, you have multiple opportunities to win a Wizzy the Blue NFT on Wednesdays, on Saturdays, on Mondays. Anytime that you see me in the chat, it's open and good to go. If I am not here, then Alex can typically do distribution, but situations like this Saturday, when people are, they got some things going on, they get a nice day off, have a vacation, something like that, it may not. So I apologize for those. These last couple of Mondays I've missed with you guys because I was working with ambassadors here inside the metaverse and things like that. All right, let's check it out. This is a way to teach people how to jump. Look at that. So for those people who are level designers, you have two real legitimate options. You can save yourself the trouble of having to create a tutorial if you know you're going to publish your game into the metaverse by simply telling people that they can experience the sandbox tutorial at 1,-1. Then you know that they've come through here. You could just say, like, have you done the tutorial over here, and like a little pop-up, yes, do this, no, maybe pop them into a tutorial if you want, or just say, hey, make sure you go check it out. They'll learn how to play the game here. And they'll come in and they'll play this tutorial. It'll teach them about the basics, jumping, climbing, quests, etc., etc., etc. And I'm picking up these quests. These quests are now making a little jingle. The only reason why I don't have that jingle playing for you and this background music that plays in the game is because I have my microphone set in such a way as I was kind of in a rush this morning to I can hear my own voice, is what I'm trying to say. I can hear my own voice. Okay, a little combat mechanics we're learning here. Okay, there we go. We learn to pick up objects and equip them with the supply master. Even the tutorial has little side quests, and this is critical as a level designer. I talk about this all the time, but you're creating an experience. And you want people to come back to that experience. Even if it's something as simple as this tutorial, then you should have quests that are optional. Quests that they may see and say, hey, they finish the game. Ooh. To run. Okay, so they finish their experience, and then a thing pops up and it says like, you didn't complete this optional quest. That sort of thing. Glowing, and it makes me want to pick it up. Interesting. Got a new sword. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Gonna put this level designer to the test. Come on. Come on. Who cares about a gate? Forget about it. Oh, hey, check it out. Wait, no, no. No. Look, guys, it's a hidden duck. Look at that. Let's press E to duck. What are you doing? Yeah. All right, I broke the door. Can't go this way. Invisible wall. But to be fair, I'm not supposed to be up here at all. Secrets. All right, we learned how to get a sword. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna answer this question here real quick. Da, 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 da. Okay, JazzWolf24 asks, where do I find the social hub? Is it in the game maker? No. As you can see in the top right, that little text up there tells you, and it's tiny, but it says 0.6.6, which means that I am currently playing with a version of the game client that is in test internally. These are not available to the public. I'm just giving you a special sneak preview here on this live stream of the tutorial. A little bit. We ran around the social hub for a bit, but this is not available to the public because we are heavily product testing these to make sure that they operate as expected, look great, feel great, and we're getting it ready for you for the launch. People have been asking each and every week, when is Preseason 0 dropping? So I'm giving you just a little sneak peek here today, and then later we will have a better announcement about when that does come. So let's see here. What are those fish behaviors? Doesn't look like bird. But depending on what fish it is, and I apologize for that, it may be a custom animated movement with a different... Let's see. They appear to be... Well, they're not going in a straight line. Or is it a circle? They may actually be going in a circle where the object is larger, and I don't know because I didn't go physically interact with it. But if you had a large hitbox and a small object in a space where you knew that no user is going to interact with it, like, or if it was physically inaccessible, right? You could take the small object in the large hitbox and move it in the hitbox. And if you did that, then you could give this effect, like you could make an object turn around and do that sort of thing. You give it that full animation to make it look like a more natural fish. If you were going to have it in a closed container, off to the side, non-interactable, that may be an idea for you. Let's see here. Would be cool if we could add a portal in the game when they say they haven't done the tutorial. When they walk through, they get teleported there. Loy, that's a great idea. That said, the portals that we have right now are for internal team use at this time. They will, well, they may become for public purchase at a later date, but the decision has not quite been made on that, because they have certain technical limitations and server load impacts and things like that. So each one of those portals, as we walked through it, did actively teleport a user from one land instance into another instance in another location in the metaverse map. So there is some server impact, and if people were constantly teleporting back and forth, how does that affect server load? That sort of thing does need to come into consideration, but we did intend to, make it accessible to all level designers, all creators, as we go. So we'll have more on that as if we're sure that it's going to function as expected and not, break your things. I have to remember how to get up. Okay, I'm going to scroll a little bit here. I wonder if the Sandbox ever considered using an ADA ETH bridge once ADA achieves smart contracts. It's going to probably be unlikely that we do that, but not impossible. We are interested in interoperability with different companies for different reasons. And anything can change at any time in this, but as it stands right now, we're pretty comfortable saying that we can stay on the ETH blockchain and the long term is going to be fine. There have been some interim situations where, gas prices have gone up considerably, but the testnet for the London upgrade for ETH is coming out this week, meaning that gas fees will be set at a flat rate, and that gas will disappear into infinity afterward. So it's going to kind of change the way that process works for everyone and not have instability as much, that sort of thing. Instead of going above and beyond the expected gas and then maybe getting lucky, tools like MetaMask will better understand what gas rate should be at any given time. I'm trying to remember how to get up. It's been so long since I played the tutorial, and that seems crazy that I am stuck on a tutorial, Joe. But as you guys may know, when I play these games, I do typically play them like I'm 9 years old. Let me go back. There's that. I jumped off a cliff. Oh, duh. Wait. No. Not duh. But yes, duh. Find that. I get on it. Oops. Oh no. Okay, let me get back to the chat here. Where do I find the social hub in the game maker? Yes, sorry about that. We will release a game client thing soon. Let's see. After you mentioned gating, I rang Mackie Gee and mentioned to him how cool it would be to one day host a concert on my land for everyone who holds the NFT in their wallet. Block Chase, I think that's a fantastic idea. And it is obviously there's going to be some steps in the middle in order to enable, well, sort of. There's going to be some steps where you would want to make sure. Oopsies! I should have just climbed the lines instead of trying to go to different areas. But you'll want to make sure that the users that are inside the space can hear. And right now there's not like there's not a voice chat, right? There's just the text chat for the metaverse. And you could see how that's changed as I've come in the tutorial. It just has metaverse chat. It doesn't have a local chat because this is an individual player instance. Just me hanging out. Let's see. There. Was I supposed to? Oh, oh, oh. This has got to be the better way. Oh, interesting. Secrets. Supposed to go over here. Get that optional flower. But yes, you can absolutely do that because you have these NFTs operate kind of in the same way. And because they are gated, it is a nice way to do concerts. And it's kind of that's actually a natural comparison that I make all the time when we talk about that. It's like ticketed events. NFTs kind of are that automatically. There we go. Woo! Because they are individual, because NFTs are serialized, it's very easy to know that, you know, a user has one, it's legit. You don't have to worry about it like you would in a conventional environment where you'd have to be like, oh, you know, we stamped your hand or whatever. Like anybody who gets the stamp can do the thing, or people like share the stamp somehow, things like that. We don't have to worry about that. Yep, I totally cheated on this one, by the way. Let's see. The whole experience could go through an app. Yeah, so what I guess what I would say I would recommend to do if you wanted to like synchronize it is to have the, in terms of features that are in the space now, I'm constantly talking with our team to try to get sort of integrations for different services. We have tested MP4. That format functions, but it doesn't fit in a nice, pretty frame, and does require that it gets uploaded into the experience itself. So that, while cool, and you could come experience the concert at any time, wouldn't set it out to a particular time. Which I think that's what you want if you're going to have a concert. You essentially want a social hub where people can't interact with each other aside from text, and then maybe have like a video wall up and avatar represents. So as a level designer, you would make the band and or performer probably in the space performing, and so like they're hanging out. If it's a DJ, then it's a DJ doing, you know, they're mixing something down, animated in there. And then when they actually arrive in the metaverse, you know, they come up to their podium, they type in the chat, and then they say like, okay, you know, watch this. So what I'm trying to see if we can get right now, and I don't know if this is possible. I'm sure that it's possible, but I don't know that it's plausible without bringing a lot of lag, is direct integration where somebody could, let's say on this wall, right there, you have my live stream playing. And then if they're in your space, your live stream isn't, you know, it's not live on Twitch necessarily. It would probably be live on YouTube, so you could make it a private link, but only users who have the link can see it. And then the only user who has that link is you, and you put it inside your experience, right? So that would be a way to have a private concert with ticketed event that only worked in the sandbox, but again, requires a lot of steps from our team still as we are working. And we're not yet to version 1.0. But this is the kind of ideas that we have working around to try to make that work for you. So let's see here. To make combat more dynamic between enemy assets. Wait. Will there be updated combat mechanics between the player and enemies? Yes. If you're not aware, green view, like the simple attack, there was a time when this was it. You're just swinging like this, and you didn't even lunge forward. You're just swinging. Right, and then we added the multi-strike, this nice effect. More recently, we added this attack, which didn't used to have the animation, so you had no idea which way you were attacking. And then also we added parry mechanics, which is to say that you can block. That's cool. That's newish, like as of version 0.6.2, I think. But if you block in a timely manner, then you stun the unit. So you can't just stand and block, but you block in a timely manner, bop, and then the unit that attacked you becomes stunned, and you can attack them back. These are melee mechanics that we've been working on internally. Of course, we're going to have other mechanics. We need to add ranged attacks and that sort of thing. Continue to make the melee mechanics more sophisticated, the AIs on the enemies better, that sort of thing. But again, long way to go on the roadmap just to get to the 1.0 period. So yes, one of the things that I recommended to a user earlier this week, they said, my boss is too easy. How do I make it more difficult? And I said, okay, so implement into your game when you kill the boss. Let's think of it like the mythical creature, the Hydra. You kill 1, 3 of the same boss spawns. You kill the 3, 9 of them spawn. Make it the difficulty to your liking. You know, maybe you don't want to go all the way to 9 because it is a boss and they're already tough. But there's some basic things you could do in the game maker that when this object is gone, spawn said object and destroy the spawners immediately so that you're not spawning multiples of them. And then when they go away, etc., to the difficulty that you like. That would be good for like a mystical style enemy, somebody who's based in magics. That would make a lot of sense. Or like a larger magic creature, maybe a dragon, something like that. You could easily make that make sense in the story. Like, haha, you can't defeat me. I'm not only just 1, I'm 3. That rhymed. That was cool. But yeah. Let's see here. Pepin says, I'm very good at crashing servers and breaking games. I can help you with that. Maybe you can. Maybe you can. See you in here regularly. Okay, what is a game client? If that's not too technical an explanation. Purple INS, a game client is the thing that, like the application that loads to give you access to any game. In Minecraft, just, I don't know, my daughter was playing that earlier. When you load the game, you must open a game client or an app to access the servers that they have in order to be able to play. When I'm playing League of Legends, before I can, like the login portion, right? You log into that with their game client, which allows you to access their servers and their games. To some degree, our website is a client, but you can't play the game inside the website. So you open the map on the website, and then the game client opens to actually give your computer and you the ability for direct control and access over your avatar. It would be awesome if we could teleport between community hubs and people can't do it from their own land. It forces people to move through certain areas of the map. Yeah, Pepin, to that point, there will be a lot of people using natural movement from space to space. Obviously, an example like this tutorial, it doesn't really suit that idea because I can't move to the edge. This is intentional design on our part on the tutorial because we need to essentially force users to play. We need to essentially force users to learn how the mechanics work of the game, right? So here we go. Let's see. Get these guys real quick. I'll get to that. But if you're inside of any other game, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and press H to go back to the hub real quick. When you're inside any other experience and you get to the edge of that experience, then it's going to say, hey, you know, you've touched the edge and you are going to travel to that other experience. So in terms of like users, place to place, peer to peer, that sort of business, when you go to the edge of the map, that's, can you access it is defined by the designer, physically speaking. A good designer, I think, is going to create an experience that's compelling enough that you could walk to the edge, and then say, wait a minute, no, I want to stay here. I want to finish this. That said, making it in the same style that we do in the hubs where we have clear portals or doorways, I think is one of the better design choices. Just again, because most of the time you don't want a user constantly running into that world edge where they get an opportunity to leave necessarily, because it takes some of the immersion away. So you give them, a road that leads off here, or an entry or a cave or something that can take them out of the experience, possibly. And then just as much as this welcome bot says welcome in the social hub, if you were going to have a cave or something that appears to be a secret and they walk up to that, you probably will want to have a pop-up like this or a sign that says, warning, this will take you out of the experience. Like, proceeding will take you out of this game. Something like that. That way, a user can be like, oh, okay, I don't need to go in here to explore this. There's not a hidden secret life duck, numbers, whatever, in here. There's not a cool thing down this hallway. It's just the way to go play another game. So that's just off the top of my head an idea here. Let's see. Yeah, and Pot Plucker says thanks for the comments about ETH88 bridge, but gas will become a flat rate. Good news. I want to clarify that with the London upgrade, gas is not necessarily a flat rate, but it does not, or it does better actually tell MetaMask and other very commonly used services what gas is at the time. So what's happening very often is that users who want to get something done instantly, let's say gas was 20 ETH or 20 Gwei right now. A user who wants to get something done instantly may raise that number and go like, I'm going to pay 50 because I don't want to wait in line, right? Well, with the London upgrade, the gas that you generate or that you pay into the system, a portion of that gas just gets eaten. It disappears forever. It doesn't go into a wallet. It gets burned from the network. So this is good for the value of ETH in the long term, but it also dissuades users from, in a way, from putting their gas rate way too high. So in that they know that it's not going to somebody who's mining. So they're literally throwing away money. Obviously paying gas fees, right? Some people may think like, oh, that's worth it and whatnot. But because of this system, also MetaMask will say, hey, what's the going rate for gas? They'll see this as an anomaly and not calculate it into the system and go, and this is my understanding. I'm not an ETH expert or anything like that, but this is my understanding of the London fork. Anyway, at the end of the day, the internet at large has been saying this will reduce gas fees, which are already quite low right now. I think, on average, it's been like 20 or less Gwei a day for the last 2-3 weeks. So it's been good. Can we talk a little bit more about how you vision the model working with lands that border each other? So I think that I hit on that. Andy Ritchie, hello and welcome to the live stream. I see you just got home. Hope you had fun. Vision the model working with lands that border each other. Let me just kind of show you again roughly how this process works. All you have to do is walk to the edge. If the edge is open and available, all you have to do is walk to it. And you can see as I'm walking through this land in the top right, this land is congruent. It's one space, right? You can see this says in the top right 1,1 and on the little mini map up there. And the mini map is just for show for now. We're working on making it actually properly show you. But the topography is just for show, except for where it shows what cardinal north is. That's correct. But as I walk left to right here or east to west, you can see that 1, 0. it knows where I am inside the metaverse. So as I come up here to this edge, in a typical game, in this case, I'm walking to a teleporter, so it's not going to take me to exactly 2,1 because this teleporter can take me anywhere in the metaverse that we set it to go, based on because this is one of those the Sandbox teleporters that you may have seen on the land sale map. If I press to travel, excuse me, that's what it would look like when you were in your game. If you're in a game and you walk to the edge of that game, you can press E at any time. As long as you're on the edge, it's going to say you're about to travel to this experience. 5 seconds to cancel. If you don't, you're there. That's how you do it if you're not on the actual metaverse map. If you are, this is what it looks like. There's the Sandbox hub I was just standing in. This is the place I just traveled to, right here. And here I am in that space. And it looks like I broke it again because I alt-tabbed. That's my bad. This is probably a bug fix that I need to report, or this is just a Joe problem and I need to restart my computer. But get back into the play. Open. And you can see how easy it was to get into any experience if I was using the over map. So if a user was on the map, they click play, they look at that map, they see your game experience, they like the logo or image that you put on there. And for us, we chose all those top-down looks. It's my understanding that you could choose a different kind of look, but I don't get to decide that. So that's just, again, my understanding. It may be a top-down look at your game. I'm not totally sure at this time. You can see we can run around. Here, you can go, if I could physically access those edges over there, then I would have an opportunity to go to the spaces that are that direction or behind me. As long as you can physically access the edges of the map, you can go to the place. So if I go back this way, there's no teleporter at the end of this. There's no hard-coded teleporter. There's just the end of the world. And I can press E, and it's going to say, you're going back to the social hub. Do you want to go? And so if a user doesn't have two screens, or they never leave the app, and they're just walking to go from place to place, this is kind of why people are interested in those proximities. When you have the land sales, like in the last land sale, we had the Dead Mouse was in there. The Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen was in there. A bunch of great partners, right? Or in previous sales, we've had like Atari or RTFT or Artifact. You know, so if we have those in there, and you're saying like, why are they popular around those? It's because those are attractions by brand themselves, right? People want to be in those spaces. Maybe they want to be in the Gemini space and around that potentially, or sponsored by them. Then if you own a space right on the outer edge of those, you're catching the overflow essentially automatically as people are walking from space to space and going from land to land. So hopefully that answers that well for you. And yes, Pepin, imagine being stuck on a tutorial. I see it. I'm so far in the past right now. Like 30 minutes over on this stream. I hope you guys don't mind. I haven't even done the Wizzy drawing. What a silly guy. I envision spending the first few months stuck in the tutorial when I first start properly using the Sandbox. Thank you, Purple INS. I appreciate you for sympathizing with my failure of not knowing to climb the vines, you know? Can you explain to me why the Sandbox owns 2/5 of all the released land? Yes. So, as you may know, we have a foundation fund. And this was always in the white paper. You've probably seen that. Maybe you haven't. But what that is space for future sales and or giveaways. So those spaces that are bright blue. if they're a tiny square, just a 1x1, then when you apply for the Game Makers Fund, you may be issued either one of those 1x1s, or we may say we have plans for this big 24x24 block, right? And this right here, oh, sale starts in 4 days, folks. Just checking out the map right here, seeing this beautiful update. Obviously, we released PR on that, but I talk about it so much that these little things sometimes can feel like a surprise. So the space that I'm standing in here is here, right? So all these games, all this space that I'm running around in is inside this box, and it doesn't even take up the full volume of the box. So if we as a Sandbox are sponsoring your game and we are paying you to create that content, we're giving you sand or we're giving you land NFTs to create that content because you had a great idea and you submitted it for the foundation fund, then you and your game could be right here in this space. And if that is the case, then you've got a whole thing, you got a lot of work to do. And we want to make sure they're high quality contents, and we play test them and we work with you regularly. And that's just this box. So let's say we get 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and we release a whole series of new foundation fund approvals as part of a new series of sand unlocking on the roadmap, right? That means we have more funding that we can sponsor your games and your ideas. And now we work on this box over here. And this is a 12x12 box, which is roughly the same amount of space as all these games here. And we're working with you, and you're making games, and you're doing it in an official capacity, and not just as an individual, but as part of the seasonal content for season 1, maybe. So that's kind of what that's about, the blue spaces. That said, next week, and I'm just throwing this out there, this is not a matter of fact, this is just me saying things out loud. Let's say we get a partnership with Microsoft next week, and Halo, the brand, because that game's coming out in holiday this year. And they say, I want to make a game as Microsoft's Halo that's in the Sandbox. And we say, great, here you go. This one right here is sold to you, Microsoft. Why is that good for you? As a user, any one of these, the Sandbox game spaces, one way or the other, you're essentially, at some point in the future, guaranteeing that you're getting high quality games or content or sponsors that are around you, next to you, playing, people are going to be attracted to your space in the same way. Whether it be more developers just like yourselves, or again, it's big, some big announcement or brand when there's not sand or land that unlocks. Each one of these land sales already has, great high quality sponsors and partnerships and NFTs that are offered with them, that sort of thing. But, when you look at all this extra gray space, when it all gets sold out, 2023, and we're still working on this through 2025, 2027, 2030, you never know where we're going. We have these blue spaces to be able to possibly issue new land sales or issue new partnerships or things like that as we go. It just allows us the diversity to be able to continue to develop and make great experiences that attract new people to your games. So that's the very long way of explaining that. Any chance you'll be able to play video clips in an asset green view? I think I covered that a little bit just a second after you asked it. Yes, sweet. Yeah. Jazz Wolf, I think that I answered that as well. Ability to link your YouTube and play your YouTube videos in your game. That's something that I aspire to have as a function. And I'm talking with developers regularly who work on multiplayer content for us to try to get this integrated into the system. We'll see. But as far back as August of last year, Sebastian had shared video of an MP4 file working inside of the Sandbox, because that is something that has always been something we want to have possible. We just want to make sure that it doesn't ruin your game experience. If somebody makes a level that's just all video on walls or something, then it can definitely ruin a player's experience as they load. And we don't want to make you crash just because you loaded up a game, right? As a player, there's got to be different ideas there. Is this game part of the Bored Ape Yacht Club? Crypto Cujo? No, it is not. Are we allowed to play on stream now, Andy Ritchie? No, because this is constantly changing. And I actually haven't even shown off much of what's going on inside this space. I just wanted to give people like the really brief intro to this. You can play the tutorial on stream, as I mentioned before, just on the basis that, you know, you want to show people as they ask, like, how do I get people to know how to play or something, without having to build a tutorial into my game every time. You can show off the tutorial there, and then you could walk them around the NFT collection, but I can't guarantee that the NFT collection is always going to be compliant with the Twitch terms of service, because that can change at any time. So I would just advise caution when you do that. Let's see. When will the ability to attack other players be introduced? Oh, I'm sorry. When it is introduced, are we going to make sure this will not be available in the social hub? Yeah, Kirsch, it's already like I literally can't click right now. Right? Like in any other game experience, I can attack. I can battle roll still, but I can't attack anything. Can't hit this guy, sword or not. So that's already possible. If it's a social hub, combat is off. Loy Loy, ETH is essentially becoming a deflationary token, and if you look at the production curve on that, I think you'll see that. That was part of the pitch for the London update. Let's see. Will there be a chance to add Pokemon to the game? I created some in the Vox edit. A partnership with Nintendo and the Pokemon Company would be awesome. Ben Nee, it is very unlikely that a partnership with the Pokemon Company, I mean, it is possible for sure, but as it stands, historically speaking, if it's not merchandise, Nintendo hasn't been very kind to the idea of allowing external production with their property, period. So, as an example, if you were to have Mario as a character and they sold it as an NFT, let's say Nintendo official said, yes, you can have Mario as an NFT, there would have to be clear assurance that Mario could not be the bad guy in any game experience that Mario was ever used in. And I'm not sure that that lines up with what we would want for you guys as a feature. Because, like, if Mario was an avatar, then this would work. Then there's another question that Nintendo would be asking is, okay, is Mario now wearing armor and with a sword? And does Nintendo want Mario to hit people with a sword? Maybe not. So, you know, Link from The Legend of Zelda may be more like possible as an avatar. Again, it's all possible, but is it likely based on the history of what Nintendo, you know, has allowed for games? Probably not. But again, as we grow, as we continue to build and improve, you never know. Never know what can happen. If you're walking north, shouldn't your Y coordinate increment and not your X? Yes, potentially. Loy. Just depends. So what I was showing you before was a left to right and not a north. But if we're talking about when I teleported through the actual teleporter, you can see on the map, wrong map, this is where I teleported to, and I teleported into the center. While I was supposed to be walking north, I was walking north on the map here. But the teleporter, as I mentioned, doesn't necessarily have to teleport you to the correct direction on the map, because it is a teleporter, and it's not just a walkway. So I mentioned before that if you walk to the edge of your world inside the metaverse, that it will ask, do you want to walk into essentially the next space? But these teleporters, just as with the tutorial teleporter and the one on the side or over here, don't have to take you to the direction you would have gone if you walk there. And that's how they're different. The users have been asking to potentially be able to use these inside their game. If you have a spot at 100,50 and then you have a spot at -90,10, can you have a teleporter that gets you from one to the other? This is the tech that would make that teleporter possible. It's doing exactly that. But these currently, again, you got to make sure that they don't force users to lag out when they teleport from one spot to the other, or break the servers as they do so. So there's a lot of stuff to work out before we could say, yeah, anybody could buy one and put it into their game or whatever. But we'll see. It has been in the conversation for a while. Will we be able to use images for non-3x3 estates? So this map shows that's a 1x1 right here. This one called the Undead Threat is a 1x1. You can see there's an image, but the image may have been drawn from just a top-down perspective on the map automatically. I don't know if you'll be able to make this a custom image. Possibly. Not a solid answer on that, because I'm not sure if the people who are designing this map cared to make it with an image, or if they were just making sure that the game is high quality and playable. Pedro asks, how do you earn sand tokens? So one way that you can earn sand tokens is by creating assets and being included in the foundation fund, which is, let's say you're an artist and you wanted to make assets like this giant teleporter that you see on the screen. This is made by an artist, and we pay the artists in the foundation fund on a regular basis to do assigned projects, and they are earning sand tokens. Another way you can earn sand tokens is when the seasonal game content releases, you could just play the game. If you are contributing to, like, the section that I'm in right now is the scientists section of the main social hub. They are one of the 3 factions in the game. You can pick any faction that you like, and you will earn experience for your factions. You can see this one says the Heroes Hub, this is the Scientists Hub, and this is the Oracles Hub area. Each one of those 3 factions. If you are a member of the faction, while you play the games that we have designed internally, or compatible games that are designed by players or creators like yourself, you'll be earning XP for your team. At the end of a season, the team with the most experience will get the largest of 3 prizes. Every team will get a prize of some kind. So let's say, in this example, 100 people are on the scientist faction team, and just 1 person is in the Heroes Hub team. The scientists get the most experience, they get first place, they get the biggest prize as a team. And the heroes get the smallest prize as a team. Well, there's only 1 person on the heroes team, so that 1 person gets all of the prize all for themselves. The scientists have to divide the prize among 100 scientists. So everyone does get sand for contributing, but there's a good incentive at the end of that season for 50 scientists to leave this team and go to the heroes team, because they could have got a better prize if there was an even amount of people on, each team. And so that's one way that we're kind of future-proofing this idea, but absolutely anybody who's playing, at the end of the season of content, you are getting that sand reward as long as you're part of a faction and you're playing and contributing towards your faction's experience reward. So just keep that in mind. Herbalina says, you love it when I go over. I'm about an hour over already at this point, but I'm having fun. There's a lot of great questions in the chat. So Halo would be epic, Greenview. I agree. I think, the hardest part to a pitch for Halo is that we haven't yet got, multiplayer competitive and or ranged attacks. If we had those things, I think that pitch would be very easy to do. Picture on a 1x1 land, not at this time, but I think I covered that just a bit ago. At one time, maybe we can see this stream inside the Sandbox. I sure hope so. I hope I'm featured, right there next to that stage. That would be nice. It'd be nice to have this video stream happening here in the Metaverse, right there, where I could make it real meta and go into a space where people are watching the live stream and walk up behind them and be like, hey, what's up, guys? Make them see it on the screen under the lights, something like that. That'd be really fun and funny. Yeah. Would we be able to watch these streams in the social hub like a watch party where we could speak to each other? Yeah, hopefully. Let's see. Benny, you made link to. Okay, kind of expected something like that. Do you know if presets will come back in the new Game Maker version? Yes, they will. They were removed so that we could actually optimize them and make them good. They're expected to come back in the 0.7 update of the Game Maker. We're in 0.6.5 right now. But I can't guarantee that they'll come back in 0.7 because any number of things could happen between now and then. Last minute, adjustments or changes. But that is being worked on, and we see notes on it each and every week. On Fridays, I get like a series of 50 emails or so that just say like, here are all the changes I made in this department and that department and that department, and things that we can't really discuss here on the stream. Let's see. Portal looks like a huge Stargate. I agree. Some of them do look like that. Can I pitch multiple projects in a single Game Maker Fund application? I'll apply after the game jam. I would recommend that you pitch one project in the Game Maker Fund application at a time, because when it comes to like support for that, as part of the Game Maker Fund, you're essentially working for and with the Sandbox when you get accepted to that. And so you get regular support updates from our team where we come in and say like, okay, I knew last week you were on this here. How can I help you with this week to get to where you want to be at the end of the week? That kind of thing. You do get regular kind of check-ins from a dedicated team of people for Game Maker Fund. Do factions give distinct skills from the other? No, not at this time. The factions are essentially cool for fun factions. Kind of like, I like to equate it to like the way World of Warcraft has factions. And if you've played World of Warcraft and you disagree with me, that's fine. But also, come on. Like Horde and Alliance in the World of Warcraft are the same thing. They're both not great. They're morally questionable, that sort of thing. And, we don't have any questions on morality here because there's no great, like, super in-depth lore that's been developed yet. It is being developed, but the Heroes Hub, the Scientist Hub, and the Oracles Hub are 4 fun choices for you to make. I will be choosing the Oracles Hub personally because I really love their social hub, and I'm not going to show it to you. Not today, at least. You may see it in the future. But the it's just like, hey, come have some fun. Pick one that fits your style, your aesthetic. The Scientist Hub is like a desert cyberpunk, wonderful like assets in there, things where you're like, whoa, I would have never thought to make something look like that to give this feel or this effect. The Heroes Hub would be like anybody who ever loved Skyrim would probably love the Heroes Hub, or if you really loved that new God of War game, uh, then you probably would like the Heroes Hub. And the Oracles Hub is anybody who likes like nature or druidic things or like cute little animals, that sort of thing. Personally, I like the Oracles Hub because it has the tallest single sight line that I've seen in the game yet. You can essentially see floor to ceiling the entire world from the top of a mountain that's in that hub. And I really like that. I think that looks super cool. So Pepin wants Wizzy. Nope. Pepin's gonna explode. We're gonna have to let it happen. You know what I mean? Definitely played like 8 years of World of Warcraft. Still sucked at it. Greenview, I gotta tell you, you're not alone. I think each and every one of us, regardless of when we play, we can be terrible. Terrible at it. Did I already do this? I already did that form once, folks. Let me close that form. There's 174 responses. I apologize for pasting that in there. That link does not work. I closed that so I could open my RNG machina. User 171. Very nearly the very end of that chain. Let's see. 171. Cool. Hopefully this user's still in the chat right now. I left it open for too long. It happens. I'm sorry. Did I skip an answer? I might have scrolled too fast. Is there a way to import all free assets of the market all together and not one by one? No, unfortunately, there is not at this time. The reason being that many of those free assets are submitted by many different artists. And so you're adding them into your account for now. With the idea that you want to design a play test them inside the game maker. So if we zoom out and we look at what like a version 1.0 of the Sandbox would look like, users will be submitting maybe free assets. Many of them they'll probably mint as NFTs. So most of them probably won't have that little plus on them by that period. Like if I was an artist and I'm not in the artist fund, right? Just a regular old person like yourself, and I'm making great art and I'm publishing them right now for the game Jam. Later on, I may want to have those be NFTs, right? So if I publish those as NFTs later, users who added them to their account may need to purchase them if they want to publish a game into the metaverse. Because games in the metaverse, you have to own the rights to all the NFTs that you've added if they're for sale as NFTs. If they're free, stuff that we've made with our internal artists, most of those are going to remain free. The artists still have an opportunity to choose some of those becoming NFTs. So like one example is people used to use the same spider in every game. Like almost every single game that was made used this exact same spider. And it went for sale on the marketplace, and I think it had like a quantity of 1,500. So you could probably still find it on there on the marketplace. But because it became an NFT, people would not be able to use that unless they own the NFT or made their own spider. You know, something that looks a little different than that to put into their games. And so this is a way for those artists to properly be able to create art. And if you're a game designer and you're saying to yourself, I don't have time to make the art, you'd be more than happy to buy the NFTs, pay those people for their time for creating these great arts, you know, and away you go. You've made a great game. So just keep that in mind. The reason why each one of those has that plus is because at any given time they could be changed to have a cost to them. So all the ones that are published by us directly should remain free. We have a list of, I think, like 4,000 assets that are going to remain free. But again, that's kind of up in the air right there. No. So Atto, the way that it works here is that your game is minted, the land NFT wraps any asset NFTs you have inside it, right? So if you create a game experience and it's already minted, then it's minted, and that's kind of in the nature of the blockchain. But if you're trying to change that, experience, then you would need to have ownership of the NFTs that you create. Now, you can avoid this issue entirely, really, by simply making the assets in VoxEdit that you want to use, or working with somebody else and saying, hey, you want to be the artist, I'll be the game designer. Together we can profit share on anything that we get out of this. Or, you know, if you're just in it to make a nice, cool game that people can play and you're not trying to make money on it, then you can absolutely just work with somebody who wants to be an artist and they want to become well known, that sort of thing, make an experience. But the games that you're publishing inside the gallery in the game maker, if you publish a game to the gallery and not the metaverse, none of it matters. You can use NFTs that you don't own all day. It's all good, because the gallery is for like play testing, you know, working through ideas, if you want us to play it on a Wednesday and like bug test for you and like jump through the level and break everything so that you can find out how a user might actually play it. And this happens all the time here. That's an idea. And it occurs to me I didn't announce who won the Wizzy the Blue NFT, as I saw that there. Gotchi God over on twitch.tv. You are our winner today for the Wizzy the Blue NFT. Didn't hear the name. You're right. You guys are spot on. Let's see. All right. So yeah, congratulations, Gotchi God. Once again, keep in mind that if you want to win a Wizzy the Blue NFT and you haven't yet, let's get an update for you guys. We have given away exactly 100 with this giveaway here, meaning there's 100 Wizzy the Blue NFTs left that will ever exist. So they are super limited. Given that there are 166,464 land NFTs that will ever exist, Wizzy is quite rare. It will be very unlikely that you ever see it in a game. Maybe at the start of the metaverse you'll see them more often, but a nice super rare asset for your game creation. So, I'm sorry. I can't give Wizzy. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Guys, been a great time hanging out with you in the hub. If you want to know more information about anything you've seen here today, you got questions, comments, that sort of thing, feel free to ask over on our Discord channel or Telegram channel. Ask us on Twitter, anything like that. We can get those questions answered for you. And I am gotta get back to approving arts. I have so many arts for you guys. Like, you guys have created such great content this week. It's been amazing. I've seen just astounding levels that are clearly going to come together with beautiful set pieces regularly. I'm ready to party. You want to raid? Andy! Are you going live? Are you going to create some content here today, Andy? Because if Andy Ritchie is going live, then I'm going to break it down. We're going to play a bunch of music, and I'm going to use the powers that be to raid Andy Ritchie's live stream. So if you want to see some more great Sandbox content, you don't have to go anywhere. We're going to pull you over to twitch.tv/Andy Ritchie in just a second. I just have to get, I want to make sure I'm signed into Chrome before I do that on Twitch. I don't want to be on the wrong account. Great, looking good. Look at how blurry I got. My camera. What are you doing, bro? My camera's like, no, Joe, we don't need to see you. It's fine. You know what I mean? Don't even worry about it. Let's break it down. I'm gonna try to get you guys over there. Odd view. We're getting it. We're getting it. There we go. We in here, Andy? Is everybody in? Joe is pixelating. Joe went, wow. The camera was like, no, I don't want to look at you anymore. I can't do it. Camera B's like,
no, don't make me look at Joe anymore. I can't do it. It's been 2 hours.